All right, good to see everybody. Hope you're having a great day. It is Friday. Thank God. Yeah. Oh man. So I had my first appointment with my personal trainer today. That is interesting, it really shows you what you cannot do. Hey, keep in mind now, I've been through an automobile accident. I got metal in my body. I got a toe amputated. I got all this issues going on. And I can't even stand up out of a chair without pushing down on the chair, right? And my balance is all off, and it's just been horrible. But it's kind of cool. I was able to stand up without pushing down on stuff. So they're going to work on my what do you call my core. I've never worked on my core before, so that was kind of good. And I'm in it for the next year. I've committed to a year of personal training stuff, so we'll see how that goes. Over the next year, see if I can hang with it. Right now, I'm good. I've been going 2 weeks to the gym, 5 days a week. I got an hour and a half of cardio today. And that's what I told her. She said, "I'm not going to push you too hard." I said, "Girl, I am competitive." I said, "You can push me as much as you want to. I'm a competitive son of a gun." And I told her I like basketball and tennis, which I do. I love basketball, to play basketball. By the way, is Matt here today? What's the Jack State score? I hadn't even checked on it. My alma mater, Jack State's playing Auburn, probably getting killed, by Auburn. But hey, we saw a 15 kill a 2 yesterday in Kentucky going down, which was interesting. So stranger things have happened. So y'all got an update on that score. That'd be great. Hey, Tom King was in here a while ago. Did Tom leave? I was going to ask him a couple questions while he was here. But anyway, so good to see all of you folks today. How bad, Beth? 31 to 53 in the first or the second? Probably the second one. Yeah. Okay. Well, hey, it's an honor to be there, right? I'd love to beat Auburn. Jack State almost beat Auburn in football several years ago. I can remember I was taking my dog to get their shots, and I was listening to it on the radio. But enough of that. So let's look at the market today. Market is strong again, y'all. 0.6 up. Look, we don't have anything here that we can point to. All the stuff to catch us is below. We got VWAP. We got the 15-minute opening range. We got cash open. We got the hourly mid band. We've got the overnight high. We just demolished it all. Even though the AD, advancers over decliners, is a lot weaker than it was yesterday. What did we see this yesterday? Like 360 or so. But the market's just still going up, which is interesting going into a weekend when we have so much uncertainty. Now, remember, anytime I call something, you need to just do the opposite. So it was on this day. Remember this day. Let's go ahead and call it. This day, I said we are in a bear market. We're right here. This is what I said. So what has happened for the last 4 days? You gotta laugh, right? So I still believe we're in a bear market. I really do. We are in a downward linear regression. We're still below the 200 daily moving average. The death cross is still in play for those of you that look at such stuff. And we'll see if we get above that 200 daily moving average again. But right now, we're below it. I would anticipate this to be strong resistance. We'll see if we go back up there. Now, keep in mind, if Putin gets a bullet to his head, or if the war in the Ukraine suddenly ends and is solved and resolved, the market's just going to blow back up, at least momentarily. It's almost as if we forgot everything. We forgot inflation. We forget the Fed is now raising interest rates, which I believe is going to be a little too late. It's a little too late to do the right thing now. Beth, who sings that song? Who did that? It's a little too late to do the right thing now.
Carly Simon.
Who was it?
Carly Simon. It's too late, baby.
Yeah.
Now it's too late.
It's too late. Yeah. So I think it's too late. We just had a rampant running of the Fed printing money, low interest rates, zero. And I think sometimes the market needs a good flushing out for things to resolve itself. And I just don't think that things are resolved yet. I really don't. So I still think my call, and we'll always remember it back here on March 14th, that we're in a bear market. I think it will still prove to be true, but I may be wrong. Maybe wrong. So we'll watch this and see what happens. Now, again, it really doesn't matter what I think or what we think, right? We can only trade what is before us, but the market looks really, really, really strong today. And I wanted to show you what I did yesterday too. I put on a what I'm calling. You remember how I said if you want to optimize the 111. Now keep in mind, there's no reason for us to get a script from your doc for physical therapy. Oh, yeah. Hey, my insurance might pay for it then, right? Because it's like 65.
I didn't want to bring it up publicly, but when you mentioned you had to push up out of the chair, they got specific exercises that direct towards issues like that.
Yeah.
And again, but you're pretty transparent about your physical stuff. So
oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. I talk about anything, y'all know that. So yeah, I may check into that, which would be good. But I was really excited today, because I was able to stand up. And what was cool too, I told her I like basketball, so we worked on some things that was like it was like a basketball goal, and you threw a ball up there, and it was kind of fun, I was like, hey, I'm gonna get my basketball. What you laughing at, Ben? Anyway, I may get my basketball prowess back, which would be really, really good. All right, so where was I? Oh, so I was gonna tell you what I did yesterday. Let's see if I can show you this. And instead of me worrying about matching it and putting things back together, I just thought I'd call it a 112 bear. Now, what's a 112 bear? Well, what I decided to do is I did one of the little optimized trades, right? And what it was is, since the market was up, I sold 2 calls, right? I sold 2 calls in the micros, and then I did another thing that you would think would be optimized, and that is buying a put spread. So what I called this was a 112 bear. Then I was going to just call it a 112 incomplete call and 112. And I thought, no, I don't have to worry about going back in there and fixing it, and putting other stuff in here. So I decided I just put this one together and I just call it a 112 bear. So that is a totally bearish trade, right? Negative 14 delta, positive 5.43 theta, and a vega of negative 30. So, and you see, of course, it was down because the market's up today. I thought that was kind of cool, right? To do one and call it a 112 bear. So that way I don't have to match stuff on the other side with it and, do a put spread or all like that. So now this is an experiment, y'all. Y'all know I'll experiment with anything. So it's just an experiment to see how I like doing a 112 in that manner. Now, I want to go to our little thing here. And this is where I'm going to let Ken and Matt come in if they can. And let's talk about this a little bit. Where's my 111? Where's my dang 111 stuff? Oh, it's under, oh, gosh. This. Interest in my resources, aim, BAME, hedge. It's under this one. Hedge, it's 111. So let's talk about this. So North Shore Mike says this. Hey, that Sweet Bobby was thinking, why not do this as a diagonal? So the lower put that you sell on the 111 has higher amount. So say you buy the 60-day put debit spread and you sell the 90-day put to finance it. When I looked at the SPY, the 90-day put was about 10% further out of the money than if I sold it in the 60-day option chain. What are your thoughts? And then I said, now, Ken and Matt, y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I said, I think that's what they were doing at Field Trade, right? So
it's very similar. He's calling it the inflection point spread.
Yeah.
But he's doing it. He's buying he's buying it 100 wide. I guess it doesn't really matter, but he finds that to be the best distance, I guess. but he does them 25 to 35 days to capitalize on the gamma risk, and then sells like 80 to 115 days. So I guess you could do the 60 days, 90 days.
Wait a minute. So
Whatever.
he's doing 30 days on the put debit spread, right?
Yes.
And then he's moving out another 60 days on the short.
Yeah, that's affirmative.
Okay.
The point is, this is not intended for income, not at all. It's when you go out to the further back month to sell the second short put, what you're going to do is you're going to look for recovery of costs plus transactions, so basically it's a break-even trade. But what you have is you got 100 wide spread, and let's just talk about the micros. Well, that's $500 of protection if we have a crash, and it's put on for nothing. And the advantage is you got this huge tent, where you're protected, and so you don't have to. So because you really, when you go out to that further months, you get a lot more. It's more than 10% stretch in your tent and protection. It strictly is a hedge, and this is designed to work in high volatility. That's what this is for. High volatility.
He still wants to take profit at 50%.
Yeah,
so
he's always a 50%er. Yeah.
If your debit spread is up 50%, take profit and open another one is kind of what he's wanting to do. And even when the short put is up 50%, close it and open another one.
That's their extra their trade philosophy there. The thing is with the short term vertical, it replaces the VIX hedge during high volatility, because you can't do a VIX hedge in high volatility. That's what he actually said, those words, and he's right. But what happens is when your vertical expires, you just put on another vertical spread, and he says that you can do it 2 to 4 times, and before it becomes a problem with the short puts. And he's talking about when the verticals expire, go ahead and do another inflection point spread. In other words, so you'll have 2 short. You just go out just do everything out. Like say you go out 30 days, you do it 30 days, and so 30 days expire, you get out of the vertical, or you let it expire, and then you put on another one, and it's 30 days. So you sort of like are building. It's like what we're doing with the 111s. We're building this huge wide tent, and this is how he does it. It's for a hedge, and then and if you think about 2 to 4 before it becomes a problem, well, when it starts to become a problem, you'll be peeling off the nearest term short put. You're going to be covered, because it's like Matt says, the idea is they have the iron. He uses the iron rule. You get out at 50%. Get out, win, lose, or draw at it. So it seems to be working. I'm doing it. It's not a money maker, but I sure feel good. When we had some down moves, I felt it did a good job hedging, and so I'm going to keep them for hedges.
So now, is that also replacing the 111 to the way that we're doing it, or are you still?
No.
Okay.
Is what I did was I thought to be too clever, so I was doing this spread with the idea of collecting, instead of getting my money back plus say 10 points, or getting some income out of it. Well, that defeats the purpose of this. The primary mission of this inflection point spread is it's a hedge replacement for the middle. You got your black swans for the deep trouble, and this thing actually, because it's 100 wide, and you're going to be putting them on as a series. When you look at just one as a snapshot, you may not be impressed with it, but when you got 3 of them up and they're staggered over a month, like we got with the black swans, it's a formidable hedge in the middle levels, the middle drawdowns, like what we've been having. And it's a real good sleep at night tool.
What instrument is he using it in? Is he doing it in the micros, or is he doing it in the mini?
He showed it in the micros, but I think he's he uses portfolio margin, so he goes to SPY and he'll use. I don't remember if he uses the E-mini. I just don't remember. I have to go back and look. But he uses portfolio margin. And he's got no problem using SPY.
Yeah,
I do
got you.
though.
Yeah, I got you totally.
He recommends, any of the SPY products.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If you're large enough to do SPX, then
Hey,
by
good
all
luck.
means.
Yeah.
Yeah, the micros have been just an amazing little product. I just love it, and I think what we're doing with the 111 is working out really, really good. So I may experiment with that a little bit though, to just because I'm always loving to do different versions. So let's think about when you're doing it farther out with your short naked. The good part is, as he says, is it may give you an opportunity to do more than one put debit spread, right? So it may give us an opportunity to do a couple of those with that naked put out there. So I understand that. I guess the only downside is, well, and another upside is that short put can be way farther out of the money because you're going out to a much farther down put, way farther out of the money to collect the same credit that you could collect in if we did them in the same expiration. So those are some good positive points for it. The negative part would be that longer dated option has slower decay, right, than if we were in the same expiration as the put debit spread. But I see that that's offset because you may get a couple put debit spreads.
But also, the volatility is a little higher out there, so you'll collect a little more premium than you would with the nearer term option expiration.
Yeah. So let's just look at it for a second. And let's say that we're going to the micros, right? And we're going to trade and we're going to the table. So let's just look at, for example, if we did where I would normally go, I'd go to 42 days, right? And so we could sell, if we were going to do a 111, then we would be able to sell let's just say the 3880 at 2150. All right, everybody's with me, 3880. All right, so if we go out another 30 days, that put us at the 74 expiration. So we said 3880, check this out, 3880 out here. If you did the same strike, right, you could put 4475. So what if you said, let's go and collect the 20 down here? How much safer could we get? We could go to the same, instead of 3880, look how much farther that we're able to get from the money. So I see that as being, that's kind of cool, right? So you can go to the 3550 rather than the 3880. What's that? 330 points farther out of the money. Anything I'm missing there, Ken or Matt?
Sorry, I drifted there. Let me look.
See how much further we're able to get out of the money to collect the same thing. Instead of the 3880 and say a 42-day expiration, you go out another 30 days. And instead of the 3880, you could go and collect the same credit of 2150, 330 points farther out of the money.
Yes, that's exactly right. And it's
Are you still doing 50-point wide or the 100-point wide?
Well, I hadn't built that up yet, so I hadn't built that part. I just wanted to see about the naked component, right, of going out farther. But yeah, I hadn't looked at the 100 points. Let's go to 100 points. So where would he go? You said he would probably go closer to 30 days?
Yeah, yes, 25 to 35, and it's about at the 30 delta.
Yeah, it's
he doesn't want you to pay. He doesn't want you to pay any more than 2250, I think is what he said.
100-point wide. Well, let's look at this. 43. Unbelievable. 43.25. Is that where I'm going? 43.25.
Remember, Bobby, this is not really an income strategy. This is a hedge.
Yeah, this is a hedge. I got you.
Yeah.
And so he's taking this down to where we're going to pay what for this?
Nothing.
Nothing. Well, I mean,
but no, you'll recover.
Well, about 2250 is about the max. So like $16 to 2250.
So he's really looking at the delta on it. He's not looking at the premium or the amount that we're going to pay for it. He's really looking at the delta.
Yeah. What is he doesn't want to pay for his hedge, and that's what
Yeah.
he. Yeah. And so what I do is I set it to where I make I make the debit back plus about 5 or 6 points for transaction costs, and then let it go at that because I'm comfortable with it not being an income producer. Now I do something else that I'm not going to mention right now because I don't want to confuse anybody, but I can't stand the thought of it not being an income producer. So I tweaked it a little bit to bring in income. We'll talk about that later.
Look at Ken. I love it. Yeah, I mean, there's so many ways to skin this cat and do different things, right? And to me, all of it looks really, really, really good. Any way you skin this little cat, right? I mean, and I know that. Look, I've got stuff on the call side. Is that smart? Probably not. And I know that. I'm experimenting with some calls on this side. Okay. Probably not gonna work out. It probably does make sense to do everything on the put side. We've been here before. We know this works. We know that, and what I like so much is that it's worked during a very, very turbulent time in the market. That's what I like. We've been able to. I mean, it's been our number one, performer. There's no doubt that this trade is it's been the way to go. So yeah, I mean, I'm certainly interested in learning new things and thinking in mind. We say new things. There are calls and there are puts, and then there are combinations of putting these together. And you can calendarize these things. You can diagonalize these things. You can. I mean, it's all puts and calls, and just making this risk graph look like something that we want, right? Where you go, okay, at expiration, now you may be losing money in the short term, going down here, but at expiration, these things are doing good. And what I really like about it is if we go over here and we look at these things, 111 call, and even when the market's going really, really against my calls, we're just down $46 there. We got a couple of them down, but look, this one, the entire trade is up, $55 on the 112. 112. Well, yeah, 112. This one's up $58. I mean, they're just a resilient little trade. I've never seen anything quite like it. Of these things just, doing their thing, even in these turbulent times. And remember when I closed, I was looking through my orders the other day on my account statement. And I was looking when I closed all these things in the MES. I mean, I'm closing them for, $50 credits. I'm closing the vertical put spreads in those down moments for, wonderful returns. Something that I paid $10 for, I'm able to close that. So $10 debit, and I'm closing them for $50. I mean, bingo. Look, I mean, one right after the other. And the cool thing is, I was still closing the short components. Those things had already made money. So what I sold for $20, well, there's one I sold for maybe 20 or so. I got to close it at 20, just take risk off. Here's one I sold for 20 that I closed for 12. Well, now some of them went against me. I had to close this one. I sold for 20. I closed it, 36.50. But look at here. This one I sold for 20. I closed for 3.50. So it's just a really, really cool little trade. Even on February 24th, when the market was going to Hades, and these things were doing just fine. That one's up $61. This one's up $47. This one's up, $43. I mean, that's what they do. They're just great little trades. And again, on my call side, I'm experimenting a little.
Hey, Bobby?
Yeah.
I want to make something clear. I do these as hedges. They replace the VIX hedge. That doesn't mean I'm not doing 111s or 112s.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
The 112 is superior to the 111 in periods of high volatility, because you get some serious bang for your buck. Plus, you extend the width of the tent or the hump of the elephant, and that makes it a safer trade. I don't know when our volatility, and we're seeing the screwdriver drop. So and I'm seeing the average true range and other volatility measures drop. When we go back down to more normal volatility, will the 112 be better than the 111? I don't know. But when the volatility kicked up, the 112 was the way to go. And that's the thing. It's still the income producer that you talk about. I mean, touch wood, I have never lost a 111/112. Never. And it's the most, like you say, it's the most amazing trade. And it seems to be a bellwether, no matter bull or bear or whatever you are. And it's got its moments, though. That's why it's important to remind people, stagger your expiration, stagger your strikes, and stagger your trade dates so that you can build up a safety net. So I'm
Yeah.
soapbox off.
And I think, another key on this is this. I mean, this one, I mean, clearly, everything else that I've done this year has been a dismal failure, right? Other than what? The 111, which has been the it's been the cash cow, so to speak. And even on a day like today, when the market's up and I've got the calls, I've got enough on the put side that even it's up on a day like today. So what I think if we did, these type trades in the micros and then focus on the Greeks, right? Making sure we got positive theta, your Vega's not out of line, focusing on our start looking at our Greeks a little more closely. I think we've got something really, really cool here with this micro type trades where we're creating the funky little the elephant or whatever you want to call it, the elephant, the whale or whatever is really, really very cool looking. So so you could run the 111, Ken. I guess what you're saying is you could run the 111 for the income portion, and then put on that inflection trade for for the hedge. So it's always because you can't put on the VIX hedge now. You just can't. VIX is too high, so that's gone to us. You can do the black swan hedge now. I still think that a black swan event, some people say they're more likely if it's below the 200 moving average. Remember, we saw that white paper that we read on that. But certainly when I'm most concerned about black swan events is when everybody's hunky-dory and the market's fine, nobody's worried about it. That's when I'm really worried about it. And I think we said yesterday, as far as expiration goes, now we may take losses before then, but this portfolio looks really good at a 22% drop if you held them to expiration. The drop for COVID was 35%. The drop for 87 crash, I'm pretty sure it was 24%. So, all kind of great things that we've learned. And that's the good thing, right? We continue to learn, we continue to progress, we continue to figure out some neat things about this. Anything else y'all want to say about that inflection trade? And it's not like I don't want to get sued by Don Kaufman or that's all I need is for Don at his, he's living on an island now, though, and he's no longer at the basketball court. I sure don't want to, I don't tick him off and have him, suing us. I'm not trying to steal his stuff or anything at all, but it's just, the 111's been a game changer. It really, really has. So however you want to put it on, you want to widen those strikes on your put debit spread wide. You want to calendarize it and put your, short naked component and another expiration, fine. They're all variations of the same exact thing, right? They're put debit spreads and then a naked component farther out to finance. And that's one thing that I've always liked to do. If we're going to buy something, we need to finance it by selling something in order to cover that. So to me, the 111 is exactly like what we started over a year ago. Remember, we'd sell the daily put. We'd sell a daily put in the micros. And then we'd do some hedges against it. So the 111 is doing that same thing where we sell that naked component. Only difference is we're using a portion of the proceeds from the sale of that put to finance a little bit of insurance to the downside, so that we get this really nice little profit hump to the downside, which is really, really cool. Because before, we didn't have this, because we didn't have that put debit spread. So all you had was something that looked kind of like this. You had this, right? You sell a put and you go, oh God, so before we get there now, we've got a nice profit hump bringing us down. It's really, really, really cool. All right, so let's just put on our little standard old 111 today. Let's see what it looks like. Then we'll let everybody go. And then I think I'm going to lay down for a second and let my body recuperate, because I can't feel my thighs at the moment. They're like, they're toast. So let's go to the table view. All right, here's how I like putting over 111 or the 112. We'll see which one we'll do. So I like going closest to 60 days without going over. It's just my comfort zone. That's where I like it. So you go wherever you want to go. You want to go 30 days, you want to go whatever. I like going closest to 60 without going over. That's where I'm comfortable. Let's see, we're going to make this 50 wide. So 5 plus, I think that's 50. And then we'll go down to where we do this for 10 buckaroonies. So 1150, 11, 1075, 1050, 1025, 10. So normally I go down one more, right? For 975. I don't like overlapping my strikes. So I'm not going to sell a put where I already have a long put, because I'd basically sell my long put. I don't want to do that. So I'll move that up to 10. We may have to go to 10 and a quarter to get filled. No big deal. So we'll do our put debit spread there. So max loss is $50. Max profit, $200. Right? No big deal. We'll put our little trade in. Shwomp. Maybe we get filled. Maybe not. I'm going to pump it up to 1025. So let's do that. 10 and a quarter. And we'll get filled. All right. So then what do you do? Well, Bob, we're going to go down and we paid 10 and a quarter for that. So let's go down and double that. It'll be 2050, right? Now, again, I'm not going to sell at an area where I've got a loan, because that would close my loan. I won't do that. So where would I sell it at? Well, I'd probably sell it here. Now, cool thing is you can look at your delta here and go, well, wait a minute, I got an 11% probability of that being in the money. Is that safe enough? 10% probability of being in the money, which means there's a 22% probability that we're going to touch that. So that's when we started saying, hey, wait a minute, the 112 makes sense. So instead of doing this, then I can go out farther, get below the 2 standard deviation here, bring that to a 7% probability of being in the money, the 5 delta. So that'd be a 12% probability of being touched, be much safer, and collect a little more premium because we'll collect 24 instead of the 2050 necessary to double what we just paid for the little spread. So make sure you change this to 2. Right? 2 of those for 12 bucks, and there you go. All right, so we put that in, and that's our 112. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. All right, so we go back to our curve, and we look. Yay! We still got our little curve by doing that. So also by selling that, farther out of the money. Which one did I sell? Let's see where my put is. We sold it at the 3680. All right, so by doing that, the 3680, 3680? So right here, we're selling it in our little thing, but that's fine too, right? Because the market's been going up. So, market goes down, it's better to do them out here. Market goes up, that's why I've been doing some on the call side. But again, that's just an experiment. Y'all don't put them on the call side yet. They've been working on the put side just fine in all kinds of markets, going up and down and doing all kinds of things. So continue doing that. That's the 111. That's why it's so great and spectacular, because it gives us a nice little profit hump to the downside. So if we're going to crash, we got to go through some of this stuff first. All right. All right, guys, I guess that's it. A great discussion, and thank y'all for sharing everything that you know about that inflection trade. It's good information. Hope y'all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Go watch some basketball. The Tide plays Notre Dame. What time today, man?
I believe it's at 4:15.
4:15. All right, baby. Let's get them. Let's beat those crazy fighting Irish. And I'll see y'all Monday.